Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project 365, episode 481. Yesterday we were fortunate enough to have Dr. Craig Liebenson on, and for those of you guys that don't know, this guy is a rock star in the professional functional rehabilitation. He's pretty much been a pioneer and a front runner for about the last 3 decades or so, and he's been somebody I've looked up to for much of my educational life. So I'm not sure if everyone realizes the magnitude of how cool it was to have somebody of this caliber on. But he did give us a pretty comprehensive episode, and I've got some questions pouring in since then. So what I'm going to try to do over the next couple of days is kind of break down some of the things that we did in yesterday's episode and make them a little bit more digestible. But I want you guys to understand the overall concept. And what we were doing yesterday was trying to trying to portray the idea that we can gain range of motion, we can gain functional mobility, so to speak, without mobilizing that specific region, rather adding stability to that locomotor system, right? So one of the things that we did is we first looked at a range of motion. Yesterday we did it with the figure 4 stance. Today what we're going to do is do it with the squat. So that's what I want everyone to do first, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into the deep portion of a squat. And I just want you guys to rock left and right, just like we would if we were warming up in the middle of class or anything else like that. So you're going to rock left and right, front and back. And as you do that, I just want you kind of to identify a side that might be tighter, have a little bit more, creakiness in it, maybe feel a pinch or anything like that. When I do it, and I rock from left to right, I feel today a little bit more creakiness in my left side. So once I've identified that side that isn't as functional, whether it be loss of range of motion or whether it be some type of pain or anything else like that, a symptom in general, what I want us to do is get into a side position. This is going to look at the side, a side. We call it a lateral recumbent position, but we're going to get onto our side. And we're going to do these things that we did yesterday that Dr. Liebenson referred to as McGill side bridges. Now, when we set up McGill side bridges, I want you guys to get in a hip flex position, kind of like if you're curling up in bed, like, in the fetal position like such. And you're going to notice that I stack my shoulder, or my elbow underneath my shoulder, but I'm kind of in this like slouched position. The first portion of this exercise is just to make the body rigid, the torso itself rigid. You can see how I kind of bring that up and kind of centrate that line. That's what I want to do. From right there, I'm going to make sure that my palm is nice and flat, and all I'm going to do is extend through the hips, right? So you can see that it's not a lifting action like me coming up like this. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is torso becomes flat, and then I'm going to extend the hips. And I'm going to extend straight through. I'm not stopping back here like this. So I'll give you a side view of it in a second, right? I'm extending straight through. From right there, the exercise is I'm going to come back, just graze my butt on the ground, and then pop straight forward and extend. Come back, just graze myself on the ground, pop straight forward. And I get into that fully extended position, in this case with my left hip down, because that's the one identified as not as functional. Let me show you what it would look like from this position, okay? So you can see I'm in that squatted position, that almost like that fetal position. My heels are going to be kind of almost in line with my butt, and then my hip is in line with my shoulder here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is take that torso, that shrug downwards. I'm just going to lift it up so it's in line, it's centrated, it's a nice straight line. And from right there, I'm going to drive through my hip this way and come into that fully extended position. I'm going to sit back down as soon as my butt kind of grazes, drive straight forward. Back down, drive straight forward. And remember, I'm just allowing my hip just to graze the ground. My palm is staying nice and flat down onto the ground like this. I'm staying rooted into the ground, so I got pressure on my knees, pressure through that whole entire palm. What I want to do there is, as soon as I finish 10 repetitions, so I'm going to do the 5 that I showed you and then an additional 5, okay? I want you just to jump back up here, and I want you to feel the difference, all right, in that left side or whichever side you identified as the non-functional side. I want you to feel the difference from when you started. So I feel it, and then I compare it to my retest position. I'm not comparing it to my right, okay? I'm comparing it to the left that I previously had, 35 seconds ago or so. And I want you to go ahead and tell me whether this makes a profound change for you. It did for me. I thought it was one of the most profound things that I took home from the previous seminar that I did. I just thought it was so important that I share it. So guys, try this out. Tell me how you do with it. And until tomorrow, we are optimizing function to optimize performance.